Welcome aboard, folks, and welcome back, hopefully, to our viewers. This video is very exciting. I've been looking forward to recording this for you for quite some time now, to be honest. And it is about the great icon, let's be honest, of the industry, the Bose A20 headset. So this will be a thorough review. I'm going to go and dive into the details, talk about many of the aspects that I've experienced using this headset in line operations flying the Boeing 737 aircraft. If you like a 5-minute review, maybe skip to the end, a conclusion, a thorough review does take quite a bit longer. As far as headsets are concerned, there are many factors that you need to consider when selecting your headset. I have addressed many of those factors in a different video, which will link in the description down below so that you can have access to that. There's quite a bit that goes into it, but just to not keep it too repetitive, if you're watching this video, we're going to move ahead and we're going to talk about this headset specifically. So the Bose A20, as far as generic specifications are concerned, a frequency response, we're looking from 15 hertz to 15 kilohertz. The noise sensitivity is 92 decibels SPL. The weight is 12 ounces. To those who speak international, that converts over to 340.19 grams. So I would say it's not heavy and it's not light. It's kind of in a very common ground, so to speak. And it does have Bluetooth 3.1. So we will be talking about 7 different categories of the headset: performance, comfort, build quality, functionality, value for money, durability, and style. So let's get right to it. As far as performance is concerned, it is a headset. The first and foremost important thing on a headset is the noise attenuation, right? So how does it do and how does it do it? So it has 2 methods to attenuate noise: active and passive. The passive is just through physically the ear cups and material construction. So it just passively attenuates the noise without any electronics. And then the A&R, which is the active noise reduction, does so electronically. The headset listens to its environment and creates an opposite signal of what's being sensed on the outside. A direct opposite signal eliminates the noise from the outside. Obviously, within constraints, it doesn't eliminate all noise, but it does greatly attenuate noise. As far as the overall performance of both passive and active together, I must say that I find it to be excellent. The Boeing 737 is a very loud flight deck, quite a bit of noise, and it does a great job of attenuating that noise. So in a long day, 8 hours of flight time, as far as noise is concerned, this is right up there at the very top, attenuating most noise, creating a very comfortable environment, allowing for you to work for a very long period of time without a lot of noise stress, sound stress, and that really makes a difference at the end of a very long day. Typically 8 hours of flight time, especially for domestic aircraft, you're looking at 2, 3, maybe 4, 5 flights, depending on the carrier that you're working for. So that will greatly reduce, the noise attenuation will greatly reduce your fatigue at the end of the day, which is great, right? The microphone is also impressively good, very clear. The communications between you and air traffic control is fantastic. You hear yourself very clearly through your mic. Next up would be comfort. So from a comfort standpoint, I would say that Bose definitely when they came out, they revolutionized the industry in their comfort. They have done a fantastic job in development over the years and improving the headset as well. According to their website, 30% less clamping pressure, which is really important. Again, at the end of a very long day, I can't stress enough the level of a difference that makes. So the lower the clamping pressure, the more comfortable it is. But you do have to strike a balance, because if there is not enough clamping pressure, then it will not attenuate because it's not going to create a perfect seal, and then it will not attenuate the noise. As far as the headband itself, the points of contact are these two little pads up top, and those are very comfortable, very fluffy, and they are, it seems like the material would allow for air to, flow through it. Doesn't exactly create a perfect airtight seal, which would then make you sweat a lot. So that's a good thing, right, on the head. That being said, because it's not a very large area of contact, there is, a noticeable just pressure point. It is where it's located. So you will notice that at the end of a very long day where these points are. Again, nothing discomfortable, not to such a level of discomfort that you would, not consider buying a headset, but it is something to be aware of. And then as far as adjustability, a lot of adjustability in the length that the ear cups extend. The mic boom is very long, so the length of it will allow for very large people or very small people to use the boom mic without it being in an awkward position. You can comfortably place it in front of your mouth about 1/4 of an inch away from your lips so that it'll actually capture speech really clearly, which is very, very important. The build quality of the headset is fantastic overall. At this price point, you'd expect that, of course, but materials choice is unbelievable. It feels extremely sturdy. I've talked to lots of coworkers that have owned these over the years. Checked reviews online. Overall, they tend to be extremely reliable. Because of their sturdiness, they do not tend to break easily. The wearable items such as, the ear cups, the headband, and the mic puff can easily be switched out. And obviously, that's not cost prohibitive because you're not doing that frequently. Next up would be functionality. As far as functionality is concerned, I would say that as far as a distinguishing factor in relation to its competitors, this is where this headset actually excels more than the competition to a great degree. The list is very long. So because of that, I don't want to miss anything. So I'm just going to go down the list that I took notes, make sure we're not missing anything. One feature that is rather unique to this headset is your ability to switch out the boom mic's location from the left ear cup to the right ear cup. That becomes particularly important if you either fly frequently in both seats, left and right seats of the aircraft, or if you're a first officer for a long time, or if you're a captain for a long time, then you can just permanently place the boom mic in the side that's away from the other pilot. There's no real reason as far as, from a technical standpoint. It is mostly from an ergonomic standpoint, just overall comfort. So when you put the headset on, the boom mic staying away from the other pilot, one, it does look nice. There's no obstructions between you and the other pilot. And it does overall allow for you to route the wire in a shorter path. So again, just ergonomics, but you put the headset on. So because the wire comes from the boom, it's a shorter path when you have to route it to your jacks. If you're on the right seat, and then if you're on the left seat, you can flip the connection to the other cup and again make it a shorter path. Otherwise, certain headsets, you'll just have to wire the boom in front of your uniform or behind, which typically creates several additional problems, like your shoulder harness, it rubs against your uniform. So this mitigates all of that, and it's a fantastic feature, truly worth, keeping that in mind when making a purchasing decision. It does have Bluetooth. Many headsets have Bluetooth, and they all typically come with either mute or mix options. So if you are Part 91 operations GA and you'd like to have something your cell phone connected via Bluetooth to the headset. You can choose for it to either mute the phone when ATC talks or mix it in when ATC communicates. Obviously, for the Part 121 passengers scheduled operations, none of these features can be used while flying, but it does come extremely handy when you're on the ground, you have a maintenance delay, and a captain has to coordinate with the company. Many different departments, depending on what's going on, the amount of phone calls really picks up. And it's really nice to be able to go to Bluetooth, put your headset on, ANR is on, so all the noise gets canceled out. Communication to company via your cell phone then becomes just crystal clear. And the perk of it is nobody interrupts you because you got a gigantic clamp on your head. That really does make a big difference for the captains when you're coordinating with the company on the ground. Something to think about. It does have active EQ. And I will place a special emphasis on this single feature, which is just kind of like a bullet point. If you look on their website, they don't necessarily make too much of a big deal. But I will say that the end result of their active EQ is incredible. So what is EQ? EQ stands for equalization, and that's where you tailor the sound that you are listening to. You can increase or decrease the volume at a specific frequency, basically. And that will result in you listening to that frequency louder or lower. By doing so, you can enhance the frequencies where speech lies. And the consequence is ATC communications becomes clearer. So if you look at some of the reviews, you will notice that people actually praise the clarity of ATC communications. And having tried and having flown with many different headsets over the years, I'm here to tell you that that's actually true. I think other manufacturers also do EQ, but the EQ on the Bose is rather perceptible, aggressive, and I will have to say that it does a good job. It really does increase the overall clarity of communications, intra-cockpit, intercom, and pilot to ATC. So overall, that's a huge, functionality that it has, that it gets a tremendous plus on my book. It is, for us passenger carrying guys, you got to have the TSO. So if your company requires, if your operation specifications require, it is an FAA TSO C139 certified, obviously. At this price point, you would expect that, and it is that. You got your normal kind of functions there with the stereo mono, auto off. So if you disconnect the jack, you forget to unplug, turn off your ANR, it's not going to drain your batteries. It's just going to realize there's no signal coming in, and it'll automatically shut itself off after a certain time. A Bluetooth, like we addressed. Now this also has the aux in. So if the device that you'd like to plug into this does not have Bluetooth, or you'd like to just not use Bluetooth, say, an app from your iPad, you can actually get the audio out of that and 3.5 millimeter standard jack in here and plug it in. The nice thing is many headsets have the aux, but not many headsets have the aux in and the Bluetooth. So they did give you the flexibility, which is really nice. You can also order this headset in many different pin configurations, the jacks. So you got your GA, 2-plug, 2-prong, very standard Boeing aircraft type of stuff. You got your 5-pin XLR for the Airbus guys, and it just looks like a professional grade XLR plug. You can look it up. A 6-pin called LEMO. I don't know if it's LEMO, you let me know, but it's powered. It's when you can tap into the aircraft's own power to supply the ANR, so you no longer need batteries. That would be for the guys that own their own aircraft and have customized their panel to work with the headset, of course. And then U7 174 for the helicopter guys, which I've never flown a helicopter, so I don't know how that looks like, but there you go. It's got that option as well. So you can order their headset with that type of plug, so you don't need an adapter. It just natively makes, works with your aircraft. I personally have flown Boeing and Airbus aircraft, so I prefer to keep the two prongs and then just get an adapter that converts the standard prongs to XLR. That way, I'm not committed to any aircraft, and I can still use it for GA if I'm flying GA, which I haven't, but I do have that flexibility. So for me, this is the winner. Of course, going down the list, then functionality, still we got the ANR on and off. We talked about the Bluetooth and all of that. As far as the controls themselves directly over here that you have available to you. So you got independent volume rockers for your left and your right ear. I've always thought of that as a rather interesting feature. Many headsets feature it. I just keep it turned down to the minimum. And then in the flight deck, the intercoms are not even halfway up, which tends to be kind of standard where most guys have it, about halfway up. So at a min here is halfway up in the intercoms in the flight deck, and that works out pretty well for my situation. On-off, Bluetooth on-off, and then your rocker switch, of course, and your lights that will tell you good battery, running low, really low, below 10%, it'll be red, and you can identify your Bluetooth light if it's in active pairing mode or if it's already connected. It just takes 2 AA batteries, nothing to it there. And then inside of it, if you get a little sharp pencil or just something really pointy, you'll be able to then make these additional settings inside. That's where the mono and stereo lie. It's inside. The auto on-off feature is also inside. And then the priority of Bluetooth and aux selection is also internally. So these are not features that you would be switching on the go. So you kind of commit to them over here. Obviously, you can, fix it in flight if you want, but preferably you looked at it before you go fly. Then you just have them set, and that's that. The battery pack itself, it's a normal size for ANR, I would say, and you can just hang it anywhere on the flight deck. It works really well. And lastly, it does come from factory with 2 clips. And maybe you think that's not that big of a deal, but it actually kind of is. Oftentimes, you have 2 connection points that you need to route your wires. And this comes with 2, which is really wonderful. Great attention to detail. Again, really home run. Great job by Bose designing this headset overall and the functionality. At the time of this recording, this headset goes for $1,095.95, so basically $1,100. It sits at the top of the industry there, top tier, high-end headset. Good thing is that the performance, the quality of the build, and the overall user experience, I would say, is consistent with the cost of the product. Which is good because you're paying a lot of money. So I would expect easily to get 10 years out of these guys. I've had headsets that were far more delicate that lasted 8 years. So something that is this sturdy. And then obviously a huge factor is going to be how often you fly, the environment, how well you take care of your headset. The case that it comes in is also great. It is bulky, so it doesn't necessarily work for everybody. But inside, nicely shaped and formed, so you can put your headset in like so, and it remains very well protected, which is key for the longevity and the life of the headset, right? This is very important. Some guys have ditched the case, just throw it in their bag because the case is really bulky and it does take up a lot of space. So if you have absolutely no space in your bag, that you'll probably not be able to use that case. Something to think about. And last item on the list would be style. So style is, of course, extremely personal and everybody is different. That being said, I've used a lot less stylish headsets over the years. The color choices, I find it to be great. The black and the dark gray really kind of blend with everything. Doesn't stand out much. And I do think from a style standpoint, it does a really good job. So for me, it works. A couple of additional items that I just thought of saying right now. I forgot to mention earlier, I apologize, but this is huge. So when, back in the day, like 20 years ago, headsets, when you were flying during the daytime and you needed to wear your sunglasses and you put your headset on, you would lose a lot of noise attenuation because the sunglasses would break the seal to a great degree and would allow a lot of noise to make its way into the ear cup. So you do get a break in the seal with sunglasses on and you're using the Bose A20 because it's a byproduct of the design. It's an around the ear. There's nothing you can do about that. You will break the seal. So since you're going to break the seal, then the next step is how do we mitigate that sealing breaking and still manage to attenuate a great amount of noise. Relative to other headsets that I used to use in the past, I haven't used every single high-end headset of other brands today, but especially relative to the past, these do a fantastic job. So even with your sunglasses on, you're gonna have a noticeable increase in noise. But that increase in noise, I would say, is probably 50% of what it used to be. I do have one other review coming up for you guys. I purchased the David Clark's DCX. They're top of the line. So I'll be reviewing that, and then I'll be doing a comparison review of the champions, so to speak, of the heavy hitters in the industry. But I will say that this is at the very top of the list, the DC-1X, comparable performance with this, where you're using your sunglasses and it's still attenuating most of the noise, which is really important to keep that very silent, quiet environment for you to focus on your job, of course. So all in all, I know that this was a detailed kind of minutia type of review. Hopefully you've enjoyed the review and all the details I've provided you. I do like myself to watch reviews that go into the details, so hopefully this is something that you like as we've gone through this. Again, this is kind of a benchmark of what most expensive headset in the industry, and they have set the standard for a very long time, and we will see how they compare to the other heavy hitters as we go forward. All in all, I can definitely recommend this headset. Flying the Boeing 737 myself, it is a very loud flight deck. The turboprop aircraft has a different sound signature as far as noise is concerned in the flight deck, in the cockpit, relative to the Boeing, but it is loud as well. So in a propeller aircraft, you're much closer to your props, and they're generating a lot of low frequency noise, which they're going to attenuate fantastically with that A&R. In the jet aircraft like the 737, you're going to get a lot of wind noise, and then again, this attenuates that really well. So perfect for loud environments, very comfortable to use, especially during winter time. If it's really hot outside, you can expect the headset naturally to build up quite a bit of heat. All right, folks, that's it. Definitely appreciate you tuning in. I've flown a couple dozen hours at least with this headset on, and I've tried it, and that's my review for you. So stay tuned. like and subscribe so you can keep up with a few reviews of the next headsets that we'll be addressing on the channel as we continue to create videos for you. And we'll be talking about many different aspects of the whole aviation and aeronautical science. Definitely appreciate you being here with us and sharing your time, and hope to see you again on the next flight. Thank you.